is Stevie and I'm the General Manager of Reliance Real Estate. As I'm sure you're all aware, the recent government announcement of Stage 4 restrictions has heavily impacted the real estate industry. I've got the head of the rental department, Sanchit Walia, here with me to answer all your questions. So thank you, Sanchit, for joining me.
Thank you, Stevie, and happy.
Perfect. A big part of our business is face-to-face interaction, especially with leasing properties. So what are the changes around that at the moment?
Yes, at this stage, with Stage 4, there are no face-to-face interactions with clients, tenants, or landlords at the moment. Everything's gone virtual and remote. So there are no physical inspections. We are doing everything virtually at the moment. So most of the things are getting handled and being done from home by all the property managers.
Perfect. And with leasing, what's Reliance doing to be able to lease our properties during this time?
Yeah, we still continue to lease, trying to lease properties through virtual inspections, appointments, and photos, and write-ups. And once people shortlist any properties they're interested in, they can put forward an inquiry, and the property managers get in contact with them and give them detailed description about the property location, what are the demographics and dynamics are there around it. And from there, help the potential tenants or applicants to take an informed decision if they're interested to apply. And then based on the video tours, photos, if the tenants supply, the applications can be processed for conditional approval, subject to physical inspection, which is done in a contactless just prior to them moving in.
Perfect. So tenants can still move in during this time?
And definitely, yes. That is something which the government is allowing at the moment. Any end of lease or start of lease arrangements are still allowable, but it has to be carefully done in a very contactless, safe arrangement.
Yeah, and obviously with tenants moving out, I know a really important part is that final inspection. So are property managers still allowed to attend to do that?
Yes, final inspections are also allowed to be done, but that cannot be done with the tenants. It has to be done separately or independently. The tenants, we have an arrangement in which the tenants drop the keys off in an after hours drop box where the property managers can safely collect the keys and then at a later time go and do the final exit inspection, take all the photos and make detailed notes. And if there are any concerns, that can be addressed with the tenants over the phone later on.
Perfect. So I'm assuming the tenants can't be there, and that also means the landlords definitely won't be able to be there to attend as well?
No, the landlords can't accompany the property manager to inspect the property together like the earlier days. At this stage, they can do it independently, but I'm not sure whether under Stage 4 they are entitled to go and visit their investment property, because from the landlord's perspective, it is not covered as one of the essential tasks to be done. However, the property managers are entitled to do it as part of their role, which is exempted from the Stage 4 restrictions. So they can take the video tours and the photos and virtually have landlords inspected through either FaceTime, WhatsApp videos, or just virtual tours.
Yeah, and I'm sure the property management team will be sending in-depth reports of their final inspection as well.
Yes, we are trying to be as reasonable as possible. And so far, we haven't had no issues. The tenants are happy to apply, and we have leased a few properties based on virtual inspections. And also the landlords have also done a few final inspections through FaceTime with the property manager. And it's really
awesome. It's good to see that's still moving. And I suppose another form of inspection is the routine inspection every 6 months. So how's that being conducted now?
That has also gone into a sea change, and we are transitioning from the old school or pre-COVID physical inspections custom to completely virtual inspections. And the technology these days has very swiftly and quickly, I would say, adapted to that change in requirements of the customers. So we do have updated systems in place where the tenants can go live through an app, do the routine inspection along with the property manager's guide. And this is all recorded in a video and allocated against the property along with photos and comments which can be updated. And it is forwarded to the landlords as well as back to the tenants to make sure that everything is done in order. And this is fully compliant under the Residential Tenancy Act and accepted as evidence with insurances or tribunals if the case may arise.
Well, I feel like everyone's used to the video talking now, so I'm sure routine inspections, that's the new norm. So with COVID, a lot of people have lost their jobs or lost their income. So what should tenants be doing during this time, and how does that kind of impact the rental payments?
This is one of a very major concerns we are facing in property management and tenant law management industry. For no reason or no fault of people or the tenants, sometimes they do enter into financial hardship as a result of COVID or change of their personal circumstances. My advice in that case is straight away, at the earliest possibility, get in touch with the property manager so they can assist them best based on their situation and circumstances. Earlier, there was a bit of a confusion when things were implemented from the government and there were no clear procedures in place. But now there are system of policies, protocols and procedures in place which have to be followed through the government directions of how to handle a situation where the tenant is in financial hardship and try to work to sustain the tenancy. There are ways and means to either make some arrangements to get the rent reduced or waived for the time being till the tenants are back on their feet financially. And also in certain cases, we can defer the rent as well. But it all depends on individual situation and circumstances of both parties, the landlords and the tenants. The purpose and the principle behind it is to ensure that the tenancy sustains and both parties are able to handle the investment in a way which it doesn't strain out extremely.
Mm-hmm. And with those three options or resolutions for financial hardship, that can obviously impact the income for the landlord. So what are the options for a landlord with their mortgage repayments?
As soon as the landlord is informed that the tenant is likely to go behind in rent or are now struggling financially, they should straight away contact their lenders or the bank to make so that banks can advise them what their internal policies are in relation to financial assistance for that investment, because it's a ripple effect. The rental income pays the landlord's mortgages. This is how the cycle of investment works. Banks do have clear-cut policies and procedures in place as well to assist the landlords to sustain the investment. And some of those options are either reducing the mortgage repayments or even giving them a repayment holiday for the time being till this COVID situation resolves or the tenant is back on their feet financially. So the banks do assess it on individual circumstances as well. Going to interest-only payments, reducing the rent or deferring the rent for a certain period of time are those options which the banks would advise the landlord. And things can be worked out if it is done in a mature and sensible manner.
Yeah, just like we have options for the tenants, I'm sure banks definitely have options for the landlords as well.
Yes, definitely.
Awesome. Obviously, tenants have lots of maintenance or general repairs on properties. What are the changes around that at the moment?
With repairs at the property, currently only extremely urgent repairs like burst hot waters, roof leaks, any damage to windows, which makes the properties unsafe or inhabitable, electrical faults, that are allowed to be attended by professional tradesmen. Other than that, any other semi-urgent or non-urgent repairs are on hold till stage 4 restrictions are reduced down to stage 3.
So definitely still communicating with property manager, but only the urgent will be actioned. Is that right?
That's perfect. Exactly right.
Perfect. Some of our landlords are either looking at selling or currently selling their investment properties. So what are the changes around selling property during this time?
We cannot do any physical inspections at the properties while tenants are residing there. Yes, virtual inspections can be done like we are doing for leasing, and offers can be accepted on based of virtual inspections. There are arrangements with the vendors or the buyers can negotiate with the vendors in which they can say, look, we are happy to put an offer in. If accepted, the contract will only be effective once a physical inspection is done after the restrictions ease. So contract of sale with a special condition, I do believe, can still be considered or explored with the solicitor's advice, and offers and acceptance can be done, but no physical inspection for sale are allowed.
So I seen a recent announcement around activities around settlement was allowed. So what about a property under contract? Can things like a pest inspection or a building inspection be done? And does a tenant have to give access for that?
Yes, definitely. If there's a contract of sale in place prior to stage 4 restrictions getting implemented, anything which is related to settling a property has to be allowed by the tenants. Building inspection is part of that. And if there's anything required in that sense, the tenants are obliged to allow inspection for that in a contactless and COVID-safe manner.
Amazing. I'm sure this is quite a stressful time, especially for those self-managing landlords. What's your advice for them?
With self-managing properties with private landlord arrangement, it is a bit tricky because a lot has changed since March, and a lot of policy changes have been taking place multiple times. So may not be the fact that private landlords could be updated at each and every step, or they may not be aware how to get these things implemented or executed in relation to financial hardships or other difficulties which may arise due to COVID-19. I do sincerely advise private landlords to get in touch with an experienced property manager who have been there in the industry for a while, and they're the best people to assist in these circumstances because they are dealing with these situations since the start of COVID-19, and they have resolved a lot of financial hardship matters, difficult matters in relation to tenancies during this period. My advice is to hire the right professional, get in touch most likely with our organization, and we can redirect them to the best person who can assist based on their area of investigation.
Definitely, and I'm sure any of our amazing property managers will be more than happy to help a self-managing landlord throughout this process. The big question, how long are we expecting these restrictions to be going for?
That is one of the most difficult and the mysterious answers, I know. But I would say we should just hang in there and wait for the times to ease out and get things moving on back to normal as early as we can.
And is there anything else you'd like to add that we may have missed in any of our questions?
Yes, my request to everybody around is please stay safe, stay calm, stay composed. This time will pass and things will get better.
Definitely. If we all do our part, I'm sure it'll pass sooner rather than later. Thank you, Sanchit, for joining me and answering all those questions we've had. I'm sure as any further updates do come, we'll keep everyone up to date. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. But thank you, Sanchit.
Thank you, Stevie. It was a pleasure.
No worries. Thank you.